Two tons of fun. Well, alright. Two tons of fun. Well, alright. Two tons of fun.
Welcome to 2 Tons of Fun. I'm your moderator, Mally. Today we're going to be talking about universal age consent and appropriate ages for different milestones throughout this thing we call life. What's up, guys?
Well, what's poppin'?
Poppin'? Really? You don't even use that word. Stop faking it.
I do use that word. It's an old word. What are you talking about?
You sound fake when you said it.
It's not fake. It's an old word.
You sound fake when you said it.
What's poppin'?
Okay, what's going on in the world of Kaz?
What's happening? How you doing? What's temple?
Quantis, why did you choose it, us for your pronouns?
Because I'm being facetious.
That's not funny.
Is that what facetious means?
Yes, it's like another form of funny, but not necessarily. It's hard to explain. What's going on in the world of Kaz Lauren?
The closing of PC is tonight, so if you're watching, come watch us at 7 p.m. You get to see my play that I wrote, PC, and the play that I directed, just like college. Check it out.
Yeah, that one was trash.
I'm doing so much stuff. I got a couple auditions, a couple other things running, big stuff coming.
Anything in the world of Quantis? Nothing special?
Nope. Draining the swamp.
Draining the swamp.
Oh,
that's what that shit is behind you?
That's the swamp, baby.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give a special shout out to the wife. Happy birthday. Can't say her name because we don't disclose names on this show.
Oh.
Oh, shut up. Don't you even start. It's her birthday today. I'm just saying happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Jesus. See,
mysterious wife.
Y'all know who she is. You just can't say names on the air. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Yeah, make stuff so hard.
Oh,
I would say happy birthday if it was your wife.
Is she the
what?
Age of consent?
Actually, if you want to know, she's older than me.
Ooh.
I'm born in 88. She's born
a cougar.
Not that much difference. It's just like a year. But no, it's weird because you know how you give yourself these benchmarks. Like I'm a when you're young, you stupid. Like you be like, yeah, I want to marry this woman, and this the kind of woman she got to be this tall, this age, this like it's so fucking stupid. Excuse my language. I forget we cursing. But like you put all these little different things. Like I want to do this, that, and you're supposed to just find your mate. It really don't got nothing to do with all that when you really think about it. Like it is what it is. With that said, that transitions well into the topic. With my wife being a little older than me. Well, she's not my wife.
A little.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Literally.
I thought you meant like
when I was born, she was coming out of diapers. So put it that way.
That don't count. It don't count till you get into the tens.
Into the tens. Oh, you already giving yourself cover. Okay, let's get to the topic. He said fives and then switched to tens real quick. You see that? Can you count back? Okay. How old were you? We'll start with Kaz. How old were you when you signed your first binding contract?
I don't know.
I don't think contracts bind until 18. I don't even know. I wrote that way. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I did like audition. Like they had this. So I think this would have to be the first because it was around high school. They had like this American Idol, but it was for gospel singers. And I auditioned for that, and you had to sign something to do it. So they told me to stick to acting. I must have sounded awful.
You tried to sing.
I tried to sing. I had to be about 15 or 14. So yeah, that would have to be it.
What about you, Quanti?
Well, 19. When I bought my first
binding contract. You never signed nothing like on a dotted line to say?
I said 19 when I bought my restaurant. franchise contract.
Wait a minute. Quantis used to have a restaurant?
Yeah.
What kind?
It was a hoagie shop.
Wait, like what kind of hoagies? Not these fake hoagies, or like the real hoagies?
Yeah, real hoagies and steaks, ice cream, donuts. It was on 79th and Emerald in Chicago.
Was it called Quantis's?
Well, it was Partner Sandwich Shop.
Oh, that's why it failed. Wrong name.
Well,
It's not a good name. Partner
it
Sandwich
didn't.
Shop.
It didn't fail. I let them buy me out.
So it didn't fail. Where is it now?
It's another type of restaurant now.
Oh, okay. So as long as it worked. But whatever. All right, let's get into it. So our main topic today, universal age of consent. So what age do you think is acceptable for, to do different things in life? So, for example, what age should people start driving at? Quantis, we'll start with you.
16's fine.
16?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? What about work?
I think unless it depends, like some people are born on a farm and stuff like that. I think you should give them some leeway for people that live on farms and stuff that have to drive tractors and trailers and stuff. I would give some leeway there. Just kind of like work permits are granted to 14, 15-year-olds in certain situations. But overall, I think it's 16.
So you think it should be regulated by a government body to determine whether or not this person should receive work, or should it just be
driving
across the board? So you think the government should decide who should be able to drive and when, or the parents?
Just the age.
I'm just trying to get your philosophy. Like, should government pick it, or should the family pick it?
The way it is now is fine. The way it is now, I also believe that there should be an age of cutoff.
What you mean?
As well.
What does the age of cutoff mean?
When you get older. When you get older, you should test more and stuff. And some states they do that.
But I'm saying, what if they got all their senses at that age? You just gonna tell them just because they're 90 they shouldn't drive anymore?
No, they don't do that. They test them. Some of them every year. Every year. Okay. Depends on your age. Depends on the state.
Go ahead, guys. Same question.
What's the question?
Are you here?
Yeah.
I think that thing is wrapped too freaking tight on your head. You can't even. He's gone. He was gone into outer space. He's like, "What's the question?"
Because I'm trying to listen and not interrupt. I'm working on my listening skills.
Well, you were like in another world, man.
Yeah, you daydreaming, dude. But like, no. So like, what age? What's the appropriate age to start doing certain things? Like, as simple as driving.
16, 15.
Do you agree with Quantis that like the government should dictate this, or should it be based on what the family needs are? Or like, how do you even determine such a thing? Everybody's circumstances are different.
The government's gonna dictate it regardless, because the government's the one that issues you the license. Do you think that the government should base driving age restrictions based on family needs, or should there be a flat across the board guideline? I think there should be a flat across the board guideline, because what happens is when you have to drive, you have to prove competency when you drive. You have to take the test every so years to make sure that you are a safe driver. So I don't think it's necessary. If you have a reasonable age of 15 to 16, I find reasonable. I don't think I want to be driving on the road with a 14-year-old.
What about working? Okay, now let's move into the next one. Working.
Feel the same way. You can start working from 15. Workers permit with.
Do it limit what type of work you can do?
Reduced hours. Giving a limitation on how many hours 15 to 16 to 17-year-old can work until they could work full time at 18. That's what I think, because I think.
Well, they got a full capable body. What if it's an instance where it's a kid and they got a house, their parents gone, they got to figure it all out, and they need to work all them hours, but they can't go to school?
I do not think a 15-year-old, regardless of the family situation, should work a 40-hour week. I think that is unfair to the child. I think that will cause irreparable harm to the child. And I think that in order to eliminate these instances. We shouldn't even have a situation where a 15-year-old needs to work 40 hours. We need to have situations and programs within our country that ensure that that never has to be a reality. So I don't think the conversation needs to be around 15-year-olds need to work 40 hours because they're able-bodied. It needs to be worked around and talked about why or what can we do to stop 15-year-olds to having to work 40 hours. I think that's the more pressing issue.
Okay, but like, what if they got like this entrepreneurial spirit and they like really just like working? They want to do things, and so should the government tell them they can't work?
You're gonna end up, if it's an entrepreneurial thing, you're gonna do what you're gonna do regardless.
Well, I'm just saying,
If-
technically it's
if
illegal
there are-
for them to work. What about child actors?
There are limitations on how long they can be on set and act. There are restrictions because children are just that, children. Their bodies are still growing, their brains are still growing, and they need to rest. You can't work kids 40 hours a week.
What do you think about child work, Quantis?
Look, man, that's a slippery slope. I had my kids working with me in my business way under 14.
Yeah, you believe in slavery.
Work the hell out of them. Just like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's daddy had them working, and they was underage.
Yeah, and they became
Objectified.
And look at what happened to the Dang Blang Jackson
They
family.
became the biggest singer ever.
Yeah, but they're all crazy. One is dead because of their obsession. Michael Jackson.
That had nothing to do with them.
It had everything to do with it.
It had to do with their crazy daddy doing stuff.
Yes, working them over 40 hours.
Allegedly, I might say, doing stuff.
The bottom line is it is scientifically proven that it's detrimental to children to work 40 hours a week.
You know what? You got to start bringing some receipts on the show. Because you always tell me, it's scientifically proven, and they got no receipts, no proof, because you say scientific, we supposed to believe it.
No. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm in the gray area on this one. I really don't know how it totally feels.
In what world, Mally, in what world would a 15-year-old need to go to school, spend 8 hours in school, 2 hours studying, and 40 hours working? It's not even feasible. It's not even feasible for that to happen.
In the world of poverty, it happens. It's real.
Yes, which is why you don't say you can work these hours and you live a detrimental life and it be detrimental to your well-being and to your physical well-being. You get people out of poverty.
But what puts me in the gray area?
Scenario doesn't exist.
I'm with you, Kaz. We do need to address the issues in society that would force a kid into something like that. But a non-forced kid, a kid that wants to do this and go on his, on their skill and develop things. It's a different kind of kid.
What about the little girl beauty pageants or gymnastics where the kids are underage?
There are limitations. They have limitations on how long they can work those kids.
That's what they report to the government. They working past them numbers.
Yeah, and it causes a lot of, I don't know if you know, but almost every child actor is got effed up in some sort of way or the other because they were overworked. It is detrimental to their mental well-being.
Not Opie.
Who's
Opie? Andy Griffith.
This boy. Who that is. You went somewhere we talking in time. We don't even know who you're talking about.
He's still alive to this day.
Britney Spears.
What is his name?
The only Opie I know is off of Living Single. She used to call him
Opie. He started out on the Andy Griffith show. He ended up on good another.
Wait a minute. How old is Quantis? How old is Quantis? He's quoting stuff from
you can watch it. You can watch it.
The 50s.
Ron Howard is one of the biggest movie producers today, and he was a child actor all the way back to the Andy Griffith show, and then Happy Days. He started.
I guess everybody else was just collateral damage.
Happy Days.
Okay, you found an outlier.
Then he made Oscar-winning movies. So boo on that.
Okay,
I don't believe that children should work adult hours. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. no child in their right mind would want to work that many hours. You would exhaust. You'd be
Okay,
exhausted.
so how many hours do kids go to school?
Nowadays, I think they go less than 8.
6 to 8.
6 to 8
I used to go to school 8 hours.
Yeah, it's between 6 and 8 hours.
Well, what's the difference between a kid going to school 8 hours and working 8 hours?
Because most work is not learning. Most work is a mundane.
I know some people that have folks in their family that used to pick cotton, and they look like pretty good people to me, versus people like us who wear rabbits and rig stuff on our head.
I don't know what you're even saying.
He's good stuff. Okay, what about voting? What age should people vote at?
16.
No, 18 is good enough.
So how do you think somebody should be able to work at one age but vote at a different age? This is the whole purpose of this topic. This is the gray area and the convoluted.
People that are working, those are exceptions to the rule.
If you give them that exception, you should make an exception to the rule for voting.
If they're mature enough to work at 15 to 16, they should be mature enough to vote at 16.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Period.
That's the whole reason when we came up with this topic. I think it needs to just be one number for everything. Pick it.
That's what
it's
I
not
said.
Fair. It's not fair to say you can go join the military at this age. You can smoke cigarettes at this age. You can drink alcohol at this age. You can smoke weed at this age. You know you can shoot a gun at this age. Oh, you can work at this age. You can drive at this age, and you can vote at this age. Make it fair. Like that's
18, just like the Bahamas.
So then why do you think they can work before 18?
Because those are exceptions. Every rule.
If they should work before 18, they should vote. If they doing adult shit before 18, they should be able to vote.
You know why, Mally? I was just sitting here thinking. The reason why they should be able to vote at age 16 if they're able to work is because the politicians and the laws will affect their jobs and their work. And if it affects what they're doing, they should have some say-so and how and who they get to pick. And I think that would be fair and equitable, that if I'm 16 and I'm working, I should have a say and a seat at the table and who gets to raise the taxes or do anything else. Even and it would apply.
You have to pay taxes. Well. If you work, you pay taxes. So they got to pay taxes. They get taxation without representation. Exactly. That's what you're telling them?
You should have representation.
I have to consult the tax people who support this show and find out if that's the truth. If that's the truth, that they pay the same, because I thought students don't really pay taxes.
They for the most part, they get it refunded unless they make over a certain amount. But it's the same as regular people. If you make over those child actors, I guarantee you are paying taxes because they make a lot of money.
Everybody's paying taxes. I'm gonna tell you.
But like, if you for the most part of this country, if you make under $30,000, you don't pay taxes.
I'm putting a request to the people that's watching that are familiar with taxes. Do children pay the same taxes as adults, or do students pay the same taxes?
It's based on your bracket. It's based on earnings. It has nothing to do with who you are.
This brings up my point. So I got nieces and nephews that were working a job. They work 30 hours, 20 hours, and they doing the math in their head. Oh, I get paid $12 an hour, 12 times the hours, and they think that number that they come up with is their paycheck. When they see that check come to them and they see $200, $300 taken out of $5, and they walking home with $256, they realize that they pay taxes too. Kids pay taxes just like adults. And I think if you're paying taxes, you should have a choice of who you get to vote for. You should be able to carry firearms. You should be able to go to a military school and put them in the military. You should be able to do all the drugs you want to do.
Do you trust your 16, 15-year-old nieces and nephews with a firearm?
Yes. If they pass the requirements to get a firearm and they do all the classes, yes, I trust them with a firearm. I did all the classes. It's not easy. You don't just get to go up to the store and say, I want this firearm. You got to get a concealed carry license. And by doing that, you have to prove that you have knowledge of these weapons. And if they pass that, yes, they damn well should be able to. If a kid on a farm can yield a shotgun, a kid in the city should be able to have a gun to protect his home. What if his mom is a single parent and he's 16 and he has to watch the kids? He should be able and have a right to defend himself under the Second Amendment of the United States of America. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. What age should they drink at then?
18.
16.
I hate to live in the world you got, man. The kids got shotguns, drinking at 18.
What age did you start drinking at, Quantis?
That's besides the point.
What age does everyone start? They doing it anyways. They're already doing it. They're already doing it. They're already driving. They're already accessing firearms. They're already working. They're already doing all of it. Why not make it legal? When you make it legal, it can be regulated.
Mm-hmm. They ain't got to pay the... When I was younger, you had to pay the crackheads or the smokers that to get them the money, and they'll go get the alcohol for you since the store won't sell it to you. You get it? I started at a young age.
Man, kids, look, they can't even be responsible to do their homework. And now you all of a sudden you want them to have a gun and all this other stuff, but they can't even go to school on time at 16.
You don't just get a gun. You have to pass tests.
You're gonna have a whole bunch of. If you
already
have guns at
16,
16,
I don't know what world you live in.
You're gonna have a bunch of Caliban. You're gonna have a bunch of kids shooting each other with 16.
How Caliban happened? The kid was 16 already anyway.
You're not gonna have a bunch of Calibans. You're not gonna have a bunch of Calibans because these kids' parents and these kids will be able to have fucking health care and go to a therapist and get the help that they need because they won't be working 40 freaking hours. They won't be freaking out and having mental breakdowns because they have a voice in democracy that will feel like this America is part theirs.
So when
you give people responsibility, they will respect you more. When you try to limit every single thing, it's ridiculous.
Do you have a therapist?
I got a therapist, a psychiatrist,
and you ain't none the better. And so now you want 60-year-old kid to have a therapist. That ain't the answer.
That's not a lie. That's not the truth because my therapist and my psychiatrist said I have improved greatly this year. So I don't accept that at all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
but
this man sitting there with the turban. With the turban on right down there, where is he on the thing? Is he going to be next to me?
I don't know.
He's going to be up this way or this way. The one ain't that way. Is going to be. Oh, look at that turban, and he thinks he's in his right mind.
I got imaginary friends too.
I have no idea how the live looks different from what I'm recording on my screen. On my screen, both of y'all at the top.
Okay, so we're at the top. What side is he on?
He's on my left.
So he's on
the left side when you're viewing the screen.
Okay, good.
Your last point was correct.
All right then. So he's over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's over there. I got it.
Yeah, that's how I do it. But like on live, it looks something like totally different. I don't know how that works, so I can't see it. Unless somebody goes into it.
They got countries in Europe where they allow 16-year-olds to drink beer and wine. And the country has not collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
You have less kids over drinking. You get less, what do they call those? Overdoses.
There should be some kind of education process to all of these things.
There are tests for these things. I don't like the way I grew up. Driver's education was a part of the high school curriculum. I learned how to drive through school and got taught and went with practices and everything else. Stop. You know what?
No comment. I'm trying to save your face, man, but you set yourself up every time.
I am a good driver. Yes, I have had a few accidents.
How many is a few? 3, 4?
Just 2. 3. Well, technically 3 because
some
Mr. Magoo guy hit my car, T-boned me. It's only 3. I had that one. I had one when I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. And then I had another one that was a medical emergency.
Okay.
A French fry got caught in your throat.
I was not eating, and I resent that.
I didn't. That's what the police officer said.
That's what. Yeah, but there was no food. All the food was untouched.
So what do you think about when they try kids as adults in the court system?
I don't like that.
Me neither. I think we all agree on that one.
I don't
It
know.
depends. It
I'm on the
depends. It
fence.
depends on the crime too. It
I'm
depends
on
on
the
the.
fence. But what I also
A
think, I think
16-year-old and they throw him in jail with
well, listen to
grown
me,
ass
and
men.
this
Come
is
on,
why
really?
I'm gonna say. This is why I say it depends. I think I do look at those kids as adults at 16 in some form or fashion. That's gonna come back to bite me in the ass. But I think that when you change
That's a
how we
pinch.
treat adult prisoners,
Yeah, that's true. We do need total prison
we
reform.
need to change how we treat adult prisoners. I think that you need to like from 16 to 18. I think there needs to be different guidelines, but allowance to do these things. So not complete prohibition, but a downgrade for young adults, because that's what they technically are.
So
And I think that they don't need to go to juvenile with 15-year-olds and below. There should be a young adult facility to help them get on the. There are not government and our systems in our society do not have enough programs that provide resources to people to give them hope and give them some type of feeling of being involved, a part of this experiment. And I think that causes a lot of tension. I think when you are invited to the table, you you want to see your community thrive. It's just like when you have a community where the old people start building a little garden and vegetables, and then the little kids get involved, and then the parents get involved. It really, you start feeling good about your neighborhood. But when you're not given a choice at all,
it's a
you could
beautiful
care
day in
less.
the neighborhood.
No, no, no. I'm just saying it's a lot of gray areas, and I just want to bring them all up, and there's a couple more I want to go over.
Be mine.
The last two would be marriage of somebody that's under the legal age to an adult, or giving hormone therapy to somebody that's under the age of consent also. So like, how do we address those two?
Where are you at now?
I'm addressing the marriage.
Marriage and hormone therapy.
That's those two. Like all these things are great, and I'm just saying like, should we just have like one thing all the way across the line, or like, is it
16.
different? 16 for everything.
16 for everything.
Universal age of consent is 16.
I think 16 for everything, with a caveat of from 16 to 18, there is parents are involved, but there is no prohibition. I think that's important, that you have parents or an adult figure providing educational facts so that these young adults understand the repercussions of these actions. So a certain test, a more probably exuberant test for driving, an exuberant test for firearms, a kind of bridge program before you become an official active duty person, but those years count towards your military career. An adolescent young adults program.
This sounds like a lot of money. This sounds like a lot of money.
Bridge. And we got it. And I think, yes, it sounds like a lot of money. You know how much money we spend on the military? An absorbent amount. And I think it's important that we invest in our young adults, because our young adults are the ones that are suffering the most right now.
Money.
The reason why I don't believe
hold on. Money is not a factor in this. We're talking philosophical. We're not talking about how much it's going to cost. That's not the point. The point is philosophilosophy without
I think you need those basically.
No. Without the constraints of money, what is the philosophical approach to this?
Philosophical smuckable. All I'm saying is you got to be a realist on this. If you want to start having all these lowering the age for kids, you have to have people in line, because kids have to be structured. They have to be structured. If you don't have the structure, ain't no sense in lowering the age. You're just going to have a hot mess on your hands.
We know that.
Did you not hear when I said bridge program? It's a bridge program that bridges the gap to adulthood.
Y'all living in a freaking fantasy world.
It's not a fantasy world. They actually have these programs. You know how I know about
these bright ideas?
You know what? They
got no money. It takes too much money to do that stuff.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
You sound like the Democrats when they wouldn't raise the minimum wage.
Now listen to this, Mally. The reason why I know bridge programs
These
work
niggas ain't hardly giving the $1,400 on the stimulus. Then they got all kind of stuff, and now you want to add more stuff. The only reason we getting this money because it's a pandemic. That's the only reason.
I'm gonna go find the budget of the United States, and I'm gonna pull it up in a pie chart so you can see exactly how much money goes to entitlement programs. It's a slither. It's a slither of the fucking budget. A slither. So don't go talking to me about we don't have enough money. We are misappropriating money. We are wasting money. If you need to cut those Congress, you need to cut those Congress people's salary in half. You need to cut those Congress people's salary in half. If you want to find some money.
Never gonna happen. Be a realist.
It is gonna happen.
Swami.
It happens.
But the conversation had nothing to do with me about what the perception of real is. The conversation was more philosophical and about what things should be. That's all the conversation is supposed to be about.
And Quantis doesn't like the fact that this is a good solution, but he wants to raise money. It's going to cost too much money.
Because I know how high-headed teenagers are. You can't keep some of these people from being crazy on the internet. How you think they're going to be responsible to, man, please, it ain't going to happen. That's too young.
How do you know? Okay, so how do you feel about getting married young?
What are you talking about?
You said they're too young to be responsible. How can they get married young?
See, he put his foot in his mouth, and I did earlier, and that's why I changed my opinion on it. But whoa.
Yeah, so should a young man be able to marry an older woman?
You have exceptions to the rule. Not
conveniently. Wait, Malachi, conveniently the exception to the rule, the buck stops at child marriage. I find that to be just so interesting.
I'm talking about all the rest of the stuff. Work permit, all the other stuff. If you prove to be mature enough, yes, but not a blanket statement. No blanket age. I don't go for that.
He's talking about bridge programs attached. So it's
not just, see, when Quantis hears that I think 16-year-olds should be working, he thinks that I just say, go give any 16-year-old a job, not put them through an interview process, not teach them how to, not mentor them into learning how to do these things so they can be adults. The reason why 16 and up-year-olds are going berserk is because we have put them out in the world and we have given them no guidance. There are no mentors. Their families are broken. We have nothing set up for them. And there needs to be a bridge from young adulthood to adulthood. And that's all I'm saying. And I think we got the money for it. And we can do it. And it's extremely feasible and not unrealistic. The reason why 16-year-olds are trolling on the internet is they got nothing to do. They got nowhere to go.
I got to find my smart glasses. Hold on. That's so sense. I got to go up.
All right, that's enough of this. Let's get to this.
I just want to close with this. If you're sitting up here saying the kids are stupid and they're not responsible and they're not doing nothing, let's leave it like that, and you don't want to approve upon that, you're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem.
Okay. You got any rebut Quantis before we move to the next segment?
That's stupid. Right. Put something else on there.
Okay.
So I've been talking to a man with a turban on his head. Like he makes sense. His brain's is leaking.
Whatever. Okay, let's get to the segment. Rank these hard liquors. Bourbon, vodka, cognac, or tequila. Rank them 1 to 4. Starting with Kaz.
Bourbon 1, vodka 2, tequila 3, gin 4.
No, I switched it to cognac. No gin. I'm sorry, I sent you the old outline.
Oh, okay. Cognac 1, bourbon 2, vodka 3, tequila last.
Okay, go Quantis. I personally take bourbon over.
What are you talking about my turn for?
I'm just rebutting Kaz.
Okay, Quantis, and then I'm trying to talk. Then he says something. What kind of freaking moderator?
His eyes look like they magnified.
I know, because it's the glasses.
His eyes look like
these are my smart glasses.
Your eyes look like they magnified. You look like somebody I know that I can't say.
I
They
didn't
got
want
big old eyes.
to.
I put my smart glasses on.
Your eyes, they not smart. They your bubble eyes. You look like someone put them bubble eye fish on your eyes.
I had to
You
put them
making
on
fun of my
my
hair, dude.
I had to, wait a minute.
I didn't have time to do my hair, so I wrapped it up. I wanted it to look nice. I didn't want to just be on.
I don't look nice, man. You need a consult. Just like you say the kids need a consult, you need a consultant. A fashion consultant. Do they got a number for the fashion police? They need to arrest you, man. Because that's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm trying to see this little skinny outline here.
Bourbon, vodka,
Shut
cognac, or tequila.
I really don't drink nothing but the vodka. So let's see. Vodka, bourbon, cognac, and tequila. See, tequila, that's my Mexican friends. There's something wrong with that drink, man.
No, you got to get the tequila 100% of agave. It tastes completely different.
Oh, Lord.
Smooth,
Every time somebody
delicious.
Every time somebody turns
my late grandfather turned me onto that. 100% agave tequila, Hornitos or whatever. I think there's another one. He had Hornitos.
I'm going to do bourbon and you can keep the rest.
Hold on. Malachi, I'm going to be respectful because he had set himself up for a nice joke. He said his late grandfather turned him on to the tequila. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave that alone because I'm being respectful. I could have made a comeback on that. But that tequila wasn't all that.
Just ignorant. You're ignorant.
All right. What's next, boy?
I'm going with the bourbon. Everything else.
Bourbon? What did Kaz say?
Cognac, bourbon, vodka.
He went cognac first.
Cognac first? Why'd you put cognac? I thought you was a bourbon guy.
I like a good cognac. Not gonna drink any cognac.
I thought you was.
You used to like brandy a lot, though, Quantis.
I like it. It's very aromatic and it's great to sip on after a meal.
Yeah, but
I don't drink it often, but it's delicious.
I love bourbon. I love bourbon. I like Elijah Craig.
And bourbon is a good second.
Smart.
I mean, I will drink all of those in one day in the tasting.
Bullet. Okay. I like all of them. So I stay away from the cognac. Is disgusting to me. I used to love cognac before I got turned on to it.
What kind of cognac were you drinking though?
All of them. I drink the Hennessy.
Nope, nasty.
Yeah, it's not that good to me. I don't like
anyway,
Hennessy no more.
You confused me.
I had a lovely Ukrainian cognac.
Oh, here we go. Out of the freaking country again. All the way to Ukraine.
I've never had Ukrainian cognac. What that tastes like?
He think Ukraine got the best everything.
Delicious.
Ukraine got the best piss. Ukraine got everything. Ukraine.
No, I love it when I went to London. They had delicious food and beers. And I had a small pit stop in Germany.
Warm beer. They drink warm beer over there, right? Warm, right?
They do have a warm beer, but they do have cold beer on tap as well. Ale, lager, whatever it's called. I like doing things that are different. And I had I went over there. I went to Ukraine to visit some family, and they had a lemon. And you
put family. Really, what kind of family? Family or family?
I went to go visit my in-laws.
Family.
And
is it family?
I went to go visit my in-laws.
Family.
My father-in-law, they have really fine coffee, like powder. So you put powder on one side and sugar on the other side on a lemon. And so you eat that lemon and then you drink that cognac. Oh, and then you eat a little bread to clean your palate. Then you eat a little of this, a little of that. It was just, I have to go back. I want to go back and visit them. But it was lovely. And I love cognac. And a cigar. Cognac and a cigar. Are you kidding me?
I hate smoke with a passion. I don't smoke at all.
What's next?
I will smoke a cigar. I don't smoke anymore, but I would smoke a cigar.
That's right. You haven't smoked in what, since January?
I have not smoked any cigarettes since last year.
Okay. If you had to guess, how many adolescents do you think start their first job before adulthood?
Oh.
If you just had to guess, you.
50%?
I don't know. I don't know these numbers. I just do
Well,
this.
all I can do is look around at the family.
When did you start working? What age?
I'll start out as an entrepreneur. I started hustling all the old ladies on the block, taking out their garbage and, other little stuff for
Oh, what's the other little stuff? This is the stuff that made it us, huh?
them. It was the widows, the widows. See, in them days, they didn't have a lot of services, so I would take care of them. Whatever, they wanted to.
Did you Grubhub? You were Grubhub and Uber Eats at that time?
I was Grubhub, Uber Eats. I go to the store, I clean up the house, and then whatever extracurricular things they might have been involved in.
They trained you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I used to do lots of odds and end jobs all the time as a kid.
What age was that for you?
But when did I first get my first W-2?
Not even that. Just anything active enough to just be consistent.
I used to do stuff for my grandparents and my mom, and they'd give me change if that's considered work. That's what I used
Non-family.
Hell, my mama used to send me to the store.
I used to do landscaping. I did landscaping for this older lady, and I got paid for that. I was probably 13, 12.
Shoveling snow?
I was a husky, strong-built guy.
So what age did you start messing with controlled substances?
Who, me?
Either one.
When I saw my brother, when he came in.
Are cigarettes considered controlled substances?
When he came in with those, my brother came in with, I think I was in, a matter of fact, I was in 6th grade. What age are you in 6th grade?
He talking
13, 14?
13,
Yeah.
You're not that old in 6th grade. That's about maybe a baby 10, 11.
I used to steal his weed. And I used to bring weed and hash to school. So sixth grade, at that time I was Hollywood. That was my identity, yeah, Hollywood.
Hollywood before Quantis.
You have a lot of identities.
Yeah.
How many of them are in you?
No, it's just interesting because a lot of for us to have all these super hard laws and all this stuff, a lot of people start at a really.
That's what I say. Just do it at 16 and you can regulate it. You don't got to worry about them drinking and driving.
Man, it's cool. You're gonna take the thrill of doing stuff when you ain't supposed to do it. No. It's a whole thing of being a kid doing it.
They do it in Europe all the time, and they don't have any issue.
And Europe ain't no example. Are you kidding? That's some of the nastiest, worst people you ever want to see. Europe is some great, shining.
I like Europe. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to South Africa. I want to go to Brazil. I like culture.
Europe, that's some great shining example of human beings.
I'll just say
they have a lot of great social programs, and that's just a fact.
They figured it out a little bit over there.
They figured it out better than us over here.
You said the age.
You know what's funny though is you freak out when our country's run by a bunch of white descendants of Europeans. They're the same fucking people.
When did you start, Molly?
On which one? Working? My dad used to slave me since a child. I've been a slave since age 2.
2.
Yep, I used to have to work for the church.
I tried. You had a brother. That nigga wouldn't work though, man. He was on strike, man. He's still on strike. Shoot.
10 years later.
He's still on strike. All he had to do, he had one job. Take the carpet scraps and put them in the bag. We come in there, that nigga sleep in the bag.
I think it molds us and stuff, and I don't. So, like he's saying, I was started young. It was just hooking up sound systems at church, doing this, learning different things, and I had a different kind of drive that might make me a little bit more entrepreneurial. But
it's called the first boy. That's the drive.
Yeah, you do get a bit more responsibility as being the first boy, but at the end of the day, I think it's got to be a good balance between the two, because I don't think I spent enough time on my schoolwork younger. I got better as I got older, and I get what Kaz is saying. Like it has to be limits on the hours and stuff, because you got to balance and stuff.
Be kids.
But I hate the laws that say like kids got to get this and all. This a little too far.
I think kids need more structure. I don't think they need less structure. I think they need more structure.
I think kids should work, but I don't think it should be out of need for family. It should be out of
I
need
I agree
for
with that.
learning for that child. Like it should not be out of need to provide. The kid should not be provided for their family.
This is why I say there should be limits. Is because there are people I know that are adults that work themselves will try to work all 24 hours in the day. And the problem with that is not good for you mentally and it's not good for you physically. Even though as you're doing something, you need to take time to let your body heal and rest, else you're not going to be able to work in 5 years. You're going to be dead because you're working too much. And that's why these people be having heart attacks at 50 and 55 and so. And them big executives, well, they were doing drugs too back in the 70s. But that there needs to be balance. There needs to be work-life balance. I just read a report about a neuroscientist professor at Harvard. Came out said he uses heroin to balance his work-life balance. Mm-hmm. And I was like, we got to do something better than this.
But he does it recreationally.
I don't even think the work week. I even think for us, we shouldn't have a 40-hour work week. We shouldn't have to go to work 5 days.
I believe in the 30-hour work week.
Much. That is too much.
4 to 6 hours a day.
You should be able to work 4 hours, work 4 days a week, have a weekend, enjoy your family, enjoy yourself. What do we buy these big houses for? These nice things. We can't even enjoy them and use them. What's the point? And we have gotten to the point where I got to do it. If I do it, this is good for me. This is ambition. This is energy. You need to allow yourself to be a human being. And that's why I think we need limits. Because until the government, I believe government's responsibility is to look out for the well-being of their people. I don't believe they should do it in an oppressive way, but I think that there needs to be guidelines.
Did we do the adolescents already with jail?
Yeah, we getting on that. We might skip that part. But like, no. As far as the substances go, I did that young too. And I think, which is going to lead to what I'm going to say next, because we're running out of time. But as far as the substances go, I might have did that as early as 12, controlled substances. So it happens at an earlier age.
I had a sip of my dad's beer at like 10.
Yeah, it starts like that, and then it turns into something. When we were younger, we used to steal the parents when they walk away from. So we get their wine coolers after they drunk in the other room, right? So we'll take that and drink it and do whatever we do.
That's a rite of passage, man. Every kid has done the rite of passage. We didn't.
There are accidents.
If you realize, as a kid though, that you're getting a backwash, I bet you won't be drinking that stuff.
No. We get the coolers that they didn't drink. We didn't drink after them.
The new ones.
Yeah, the new ones that they get too drunk and fall asleep.
The reason why I
say
it should be legalized.
We heard your stupid argument.
No, there are kids that die from alcohol poisoning.
No, not even to that point. But like, I think to the greater point of what Kaz is trying to come around to is like, we have to establish a better education of the effects of these things and what happens and all of this. Whatever the age of consent is, I don't know what it should be. I just think it should be universal. I don't think it should be this gray, like, do you do this here, this here, this. It's all over the damn place. And then, like, this kid, you got child marriage in so many states, right? Like, you can marry somebody as a kid, but he can't go to the military, or you can own the gun at this age. It's a hot mess. It's all over the place, right? So I'm just saying, we need to establish this and educate on each and every one of these individual things, on how and the effects that they bring of what owning a gun do, and what happens when you shoot somebody. You can take a person's life, right?
I'm for teenage love.
That's all. But like, this is a left out part of our society. The teenagers is left out, and then they are expected. These parents. This is what's gonna get to the other question I got next. These parents, some of these parents, they tell these kids do this, and then they turn 18, grow up, be an adult now, right? And there's no process, nothing between that, and you just got.
There's no bridge.
Really?
That's why I said there needs to be a bridge.
Here we go with the Kansas Bridge program.
Yeah, but let's get to this other question. Which do you think is a better parenting strategy? Censorship from the ways of the world, or preparation for the ways of the world?
Both.
Preparation.
You gotta pick one. Like, come on, man. It's people that totally isolate their kids. And they don't expect them to.
He believes in a hybrid. I think you can have a hybrid situation.
It may be.
I would be for total transparency.
Well, but it's phases to that. It's some stuff you can't tell a 5-year-old.
I was watching my niece.
We're not gonna sit down and tell the 5-year-old all the secrets of the world.
Let Grant finish.
I was watching my niece, and she has built in within her from her parenting system, not to watch certain things, and she censors herself. And there's no parent. She's like, Grandma, I can't watch that. You know, that's not there, and I like that because it's like she self-censors. She don't even have no want to be in it. And that's cool. I like that. This just, to me, certain things that kids are not ready for at a certain age. So I don't believe in total transparency. Like I said, you can't have one without the other. The censorship is part of the preparation, as far as I'm concerned. A little too much. Yeah, I made a mistake early on with my kids, just super duper covering, but you do have to have some type of censorship. I censor my damn self.
I believe in some levels of phasing in things.
It's some stuff.
At some point, you got to tell them the truth. You can't helicopter these kids forever.
No, but it's some stuff I'm not even gonna look at in my own self. You know, so yeah.
Well, I'm lucky because I'm not probably gonna have kids, but if I did, it would be total transparency. But when I say that, it's not like I'm sitting a 5-year-old telling them the secrets of life. Of course, there's phases to when you talk to your children about certain things, as their body goes through certain things, as they hit puberty, and what to expect in the world that they're
no
around.
Young lady should be shocked when she get her period. She should know that that's coming, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's talking about social issues, talking about that. I feel as a black person, felt woefully unprepared for the world as a black person because the way that my parents raised me was to be colorblind, was to completely assimilate to society.
You're not black.
I got thrown into society, I've been finding my blackness in the past 5 years or so, really actually finding my blackness. And
I do. You know, one thing I have to give Kaz credit on. He's authentic in that. He's the most pro-black, I think, one of my nephews that I have. I was surprised because I understood his background. He was raised, but I was kind of surprised of his stance towards kind of black militancy and black heritage. So I'll give you that, Kaz. I'll give you that. You do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to start talking to your children about that at a younger age so that that kids should not be shocked in the world. Yes, you can tell them about the negative things and let them learn how to self-censor themselves. But to try to, when you said that girl does that to me, and I'm not saying this is what her situation is, but to me, what that sounds like is she was programmed. And if you're programmed, you're never going to do those things. You're never going to get to learn what things make you feel like. And I think there just needs to be transparency to allow people to make mistakes and make decisions. You've got kids that grow up in really tight homes and they freak out if they make a mistake. And there's just, we should not be putting so much weight on our kids. And I think that's important for them to know that there are other things. Like, I was brought up to think high school, college. I didn't know I could go to trade school. I didn't know the military was an option. I didn't know any of those things because they were not exposed to me. When I talk about my blackness, you talking to me. When I went to high school, I thought when I went to college, I thought racism was over. I didn't know it existed because I read about Martin Luther King in high school and I read about the civil rights movement.
You went to a white high school, though. Lay down the facts. You went to a white high school.
I went to a predominantly white high school, yes.
Yeah, you sound like
what I'm saying is,
brother. And Martin Luther King, he fixed
Let him finish. Yeah. That's what I'm talking to.
What I'm saying is, I read about these movements and I treated them as if it was history. So by the time I got to college, I went to go apply to the McDonald's and I was told, we don't hire niggas here. I was blown away. My head almost exploded because I had never experienced awareness of racism in my life. And I think that was a failure
Where was that at?
On me. Up
In
north,
Chicago, on the north side.
North Park University.
Are you serious?
On the north side.
They racist as
They
fuck.
said that, niggas?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, and they were Hispanic.
What?
I was shocked. And that was my first experience to racism. And that blew my world up. And I just feel like I shouldn't have had to learn about racism that way. I should have been prepared. And I think that, you know, you can teach your children in a way that says, hey, this is why we don't believe in this. This is why we say not to do this because of this. And if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. These are the repercussions for your actions. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but if you say this in this place, you might have some actions for what you're doing. I think if we start teaching our children that way, all of this talk about how kids are irresponsible and this, that, and the other, again, it's about kids are whole freaking people with their own autonomy, and it's about letting them feel like they are at the table.
I feel you, man.
I'm with you 100% on that, man. That's
you had to get turned down at McDonald's. That's bad. Where else do you go after that? You don't have niggas.
I worked at Old Navy in the mall.
Wow.
That's when I met my Russian friend, and he made me walk. He's like, what's so funny when I met my Russian friend? He was like, "Are you a gay?" I was like, "That's not how you say it. You're not a gay.
Are you a gay?"
I'm like, "No, I'm not gay."
That's why he wanted to see you walk, so you can see kind of walk you had.
No, we used to walk because we didn't have no money.
This guy is gay. Look at that walk, man. Yeah.
It was a really good friend. It was a really good college experience, and I think that's what I went to a college that had a lot of foreign exchange students.
You went to a Christian college, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to a covenant school because I wanted to be a minister of music. That was what I was going after, and I'm so happy I didn't follow through with that because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. Huh?
You would have been.
There was an actual degree called minister of music.
I said you would have been good at it. You would have been good at it.
I would have, but I'm happy.
You're the minister of music for 2 times a
So he would have been one of the gays in the choir. Come on now.
Stop that. You already got kicked off Facebook last time you did that. You didn't learn your lesson yet?
You know, I like seeing them guys move, man, you know.
You want to go to jail?
Wait a minute. Did you catch that, Mally?
Yeah, I caught it.
Seeing them guys move. What's going on, Quantis?
You got a little too many gyrations in that one, didn't you?
You're serious, man. You're too serious. It's called Tons of Fun, not Tons of Serious. My God. I'm just trying to imagine Kaz directing that choir and making a move with his little move. Okay. Come on.
To the top. Yeah, that's how it be.
No, he'd have been on him, boy.
No, he'd have been good at it.
That is not the right. Nope.
He'd have been good at it.
I do it with my actors.
Yeah,
do it with my writing.
I can't.
I'm particular.
He had a choir doing it.
I'm not.
That's silly. All right, y'all.
I'm not conceited. I'm particular.
We're getting towards the end. Let's get the final thoughts.
Just finish the thing. You worry about time. You can always edit. Where we at?
We're live. It's no edit. It's live. Oh, y'all, let's go through this with this dude. Let's do lives, man. I want to go live. No, if we're doing edits, we can go 2-3 hours and I can cut it out.
Facebook, we can go whatever.
We done. We at the end. I told you, we're trying to get the final thoughts. With the final thoughts.
The final thoughts.
On age of consent and universality based on it. I think we need at the end of the day, you know what I think. So we'll start with you, Kaz, and Quantis.
I said my piece.
You done?
His piece. So his
he gonna have something to say as soon as you done. He always does this shit.
Wait. Wait, I got a second coming. Wait, I'm not done yet.
These outlines are designed to end in 1 hour. We have to make them end. Otherwise, this shit will go on all fucking night. So, go ahead, Quantis. What are your final thoughts on the universal age of consent?
Like I said, 18, then you got your exceptions. Well, like you have like high school lovers. I don't want to tear apart high school lovers, man. I tell them they can't get married and stuff. Some people fall in love early.
What if somebody in high school to 21 and the other one is only 13, just got in?
That's not high school.
That's possible in high school.
That must be a dumb dude.
How
If
you a dude?
he
How you
don't
know
even
this a
care
dude?
nobody at 21, he's still in school.
Some people got special needs. Stop it.
That don't make no sense.
I'm not dissing anybody. Shout out to anybody out there that stayed to 21 in high school and still made it out. I'm proud
I
of you.
don't know nobody that was 21 in high school.
It happens.
Well, he need to get put out.
Didn't they just get their GED at that point?
Exactly. He need
They
to get his
got the GED after 16, but some people just went through the high school route. Leave them alone. That's all we saying.
No.
Just took them a while.
No.
We'll
18 is fine. I think it should be 18 for everything. Like Kaz said, if I can be 18 in the military and 18 to vote, I should be able to be 18 for everything else.
Except for the only exception is marriage, would you?
Yeah. Marriage and working.
And working. Working and marriage is his two exceptions. Okay. Go ahead, Cass.
Like I said, I think it should all be 16 and have a good bridge program to bridge young adults to adulthood. That doesn't exist right now.
They're trying to be socialism. Social.
Apparently, I'm a neoliberal. I don't know what the heck I am today.
Both of you are kind of neoliberalism, but I'm blow up the systemism.
You ain't blow up to nothing. Well, what's your current universal age?
Oh, for me, I'm not certain. That's the whole reason I brought this topic up. I bring up the topics on what I'm not certain on. I'm leaning more towards Cass. I think it should be 16-ish, but you want to... I'm just telling you my honest opinion. I'm leaning more towards Cass on the 16-ish, but I do understand through certain science that the brain doesn't stop developing until 25. So it's real weird. So I don't know. I had to look at it a little bit more. If I had to make public policy, I would make one age for everything, though. That's what I was saying. That's my whole goal. If it's 18, if it's 16, if it's 17, it's gonna be one age. I don't believe in like you can get married at this age, this at this age, smoke at this age. It's all gonna be one age. If I do something, it's gonna be one age. So that's gonna be my public policy if I had to address that issue. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not certain what that age should be, and that's the whole reason.
What do y'all think out there?
Yeah, whole audience, tell us what you think. Send us some